Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently working on completing our encirclement of this Ukrainian position here. They have one way out at this moment, and that is this naval base. So that is our goal, to take this naval base as soon as possible. And I'd like to use these tanks to help attack here. They're going to continue shuffling troops into this, but keep in mind, they're at 0 manpower, unless that's changed. Yeah, they're still at 0 manpower. They can't bump up service by requirement. So they're going to have a very hard time getting additional manpower into this. I did just change our navy here. They're currently repairing, but I did just change this navy over into convoy raiding. In case they try to get out of here, we'll try to sink the troop convoys. But where are they going to go? They're going to go over here? That's fine. I actually don't care about that. So if they do that, that's fine. I'd prefer to stack wipe them, but it's okay. So we're going to continue to try to take this position right up over here. This is very important that we get this. If we can push this, I think we can probably take that naval base position quite quickly. They're having major supply issues at this moment. And let's see what they decide to do about this. They're pulling some forces from over here, which makes sense. Okay, are we trying to push out on this side? Actually, a little bit. We are trying to push a little bit up over here. That's fine. This isn't the biggest of deals at this moment. This push just basically solidifies our hold on this area. So that seems great, and we can start building some of these at somewhat low priority. I'm going to have this be at high priority, but these back here, this one can be at high priority. These are going to be at low priority for right now. I'm not too concerned about getting them built anytime soon. What we really want to do is get pushed up to here, right? And once we have all of this under control, we can start cutting off this area, which is absolutely fine. Okay, are we going to take this spot? They're trying to shuffle reinforcements in here. They've clearly, they clearly understand the threat there, but we got it, actually. So that's magnificent. I'm going to start building up here at a high priority, but I want these tanks to immediately launch an attack here, but I'm actually going to grab 2 of these tanks, and we're going to launch an attack here to try to pin these in place. I want these infantry to help out with this. Okay, we need to maintain the attack here. I'm going to use this infantry unit to attack here. I was hoping that this battle would be over by now. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. They managed to arrive here instantly. So they've got their reinforcements in. We weren't quite able to push that as quickly as I'd hoped, but we will get it soon enough. So I'm going to let this attack run its course. And up over this direction, how are things looking? Okay, I'm betting supplies are an issue up this way, aren't they? Oh yeah, they definitely are. We should get going on a supply hub about here and make sure that we've got this railway fully upgraded. I also want to get a railway out here, but that should serve this area nicely. Okay. So that seems good for now. As far as this attack goes, we'll continue to work our way through this. They did retreat 1 unit there. Interesting. Well, why don't you guys come on in and help out? If we can take this position, this is huge. This is not their only source of supply in this area. They do have Yekaterinodar, but this is their only substantial source of supply, and this is also the only location they can escape from. So that's a very big deal, and I'm surprised they're not putting more troops into defending it. I do see them moving these 2 over, and I'd like to launch a spoiler attack here to try to hold those in place for right now. Unfortunately, our tank attack over here just isn't going as fast as I would like it to. Okay. We're so close. We're so close. Got it. Ish. Got it ish. Okay, I want these tanks over here right now. And we need to make sure that this is good. Yes, it is. And at this point, all of these units are trapped. They have no way out. And that, of course, means we want these guys to start offensive lining right up over to here. And they can start working on that. And I want this tank unit to start its attack as well. I don't know what it is actually ordered to. I'm just going to frontline it right here and then offensive line to this same offensive line. It's close enough. And then these guys over here, they are going to start attacking as well. I'm just waiting for us to position a little bit. And I'm going to grab... Yeah. The tank units that are out over here, that's fine. I'd like them to come down over this way, and they can get started on that. Okay. So we're just going to push in and get them entirely encircled here is the plan. And then we'll get them stack wiped, and this is a huge development. Extremely significant. There's a lot of forces here in this pocket. So they'll put up a bit of a fight there, no doubt about it, but this is absolutely fine. And then we'll have all of these forces that we can commit to this front. And the plan is going to be, our first move is going to be to push up to about here and then get all of these guys obliterated. That's going to be the plan for now. After that, we're going to start targeting their steel supplies, which are here, here, and here. I mean, there are these up over this way. They're more minor. These are the big ones. We get these three, and that will pretty significantly cripple their ability to make war. So that's very significant. So that's kind of our medium-term plan right now. Okay, so let's get these guys pushed back. We can see their fighting strength evaporating as they're running out of supplies. There's way too many of them here. They cannot support themselves from the tiny trickle of supply they get from Yekaterinodar. So this is perfect. I want to get these guys in here. Get fighting. I want to get linked up. Okay, so this is all fine for the time being. I'd like to launch an attack out over here as well. Just start working on all of this. Beautiful. Now they can retreat back and forth between these positions, and that's understood. Out over here, we have not pushed as far as I would like yet. That's understood. Most of our focus is being put right here. That's absolutely fine. We're actually getting close to taking Yekaterinodar at this moment. That's a very big deal. Get in here. We got it. All of these units that are here, get here. So we just need to get these guys stack wiped at this moment. Not necessarily like this, though. Why don't you just do something like that? Okay, perfect. So we'll begin to work into this. This is a very, very dire situation for Ukraine, of course. This is a lot of divisions that are encircled here. I don't know how many divisions this is. I don't think we've started wiping them yet. We can see that this is... Well, this is a lot. 38, 19, and 16. And then this is 8, 5, 3. So over on this side, we've got, what, 26, 27, 28, 20... Well, this is a railway gun. So this is like 32 divisions here. And then over here, we've got 38, which means that this is now going to be 70, plus an additional, what is this? 35? So this is 105 divisions, something like that. It's a lot of divisions. This makes what happened up here look hilarious. It looks adorable in comparison. This is so much worse for them than that was for us. And that was bad, don't get me wrong. But they just had a huge stack wipe. And this is going to be the rest of those forces stack wiping, and we'll get our railway gun back. So that's cute. 15 divisions left over there. Wonderful. Let's get this wrapped up. Done. So we just overran this position. That is, of course, huge. And I don't know what this is over here. Oh, this is part of this offensive line. Right. That's fine. So we're going to send those guys up there. Now, these units here, I'm going to send some of them here, and I'm going to send some of them here for now. And then these tanks, they are going to join this army group, is what we want them to do. So we want them to get in here and do that. There we go. So the tanks are now all part of this one army group. How much did they take there? 23.89? Ooh. That's a lot. Okay. That was a whole lot. So that's noted. We're redeploying and focusing on this singular front at this moment. And we need to start pushing out over here, but supplies are still a bit of a problem. How are we doing on our construction of that logistics hub? It'll be done in March, at the end of March. So that's understood. I also do want to continue to work on getting some land forts built out over here if there are any that are not happening. Yeah, low priority down over here. That'll be fine. Okay, so our tanks are on the way in, and once they get in there, we'll refocus our efforts at getting to this position. But to be honest, I don't really care about this position anymore. So at this moment, what we want to do is we want to take over here. So I want to draw an offensive line, and that offensive line is going to be something about like this. That didn't work. Okay. The game is very confused about what we're trying to do. So we're going to change our front line, and we're going to significantly shorten that like this. Then we're going to offensive line instead a bit more like this. That makes more sense to the game. So we'll just go ahead and do that. It's the same plan, just a slightly different fill-in. Yeah, this still cuts off this area, which is exactly what we're looking to do. So we'll get these tanks repositioned into that area. And then what we need to do, of course, is we need to get these units over here. We need to get them moved into this army group over here. So I'm going to do that. And then we've got these guys here that are going to get moved into this army group as well. And I want to assign all of these units to this. But the real problem is we don't want to give up any land, right? So I'm not going to assign them yet. These guys are on their way over here. That seems okay for now. Okay, so we're starting to make some pushes over this way, which is exactly what we want to see. So there's very little that Ukraine can do at this moment. They wasted all of their manpower, and now we can just kind of run them over until they're able to boost their service by requirement, but it might be too late by then. So we'll see what happens here, but this is definitely the plan at this moment. We take this, we cut off this area, and take that over, and then we start focusing on their steel-producing provinces out over here. Probably one province at a time would be the goal. So our tanks are starting to push in out over this way. And that definitely looks good at this moment. The real question is, can we get these guys sorted in a reasonable way? They're going to go right here. They're actually quite close to that. Okay, I think that's fine. We should be able to have units get to these positions in time. I hope. I hope. Okay, we didn't get here in time. That was the one position that we lost. Unfortunate. But I'm not going to say that that's the end of the world. Okay. Now, out over this direction, we need to do the same thing with these guys. Where are they going to go? They're going out over here. Okay. So we're going to have to tell these guys to hold position for now. These stay where they are. Okay, we might lose a little bit of ground out over here as we redeploy. That's okay, in theory. Emphasis on in theory. Even if we lose a tile or two over here, I'm not that concerned about it. So that should be fine. We'll get these guys deployed into position eventually. And it looks like we're going to lose here, but that might end up being it. Oh, we've left this area very undefended. Okay, we might lose some territory over here, but it looks like they're just going to let this happen, surprisingly. So that's okay. I don't like doing this sort of strategic redeployment. I really wish there was a way to tell the game, don't move a unit until, like, don't move a unit if it will leave a province undefended. I really wish there was a way to tell it that. You can do it with some manual movements, but without knowing where it's going to assign an army to, it's very difficult to know how to do that, unfortunately. So out over this direction, we have some significant supply issues, which is not surprising. That's why we're building this railway over here. And I do want to get a railway connection that comes up like this. So we'll get that going in, and this is going to be done on, at this point, 31 March. Okay. So we'll get some logistics going out over here. Their logistics are not amazing, actually. They're pretty good down here. But this area is kind of a bit of a dead zone for their logistics. So that's definitely noted. It could be a bit tough for us to push through that area. But that's exactly what we're going to have to do. So we're likely going to halt this attack for the moment. About like this. And just chill for right now, as we wait for about a month for our logistics to come online. So that'll be okay. Our infantry are still getting into position here. We did take a little bit of territory loss up over here as we redeployed, but honestly, it really wasn't too bad. They're doing a big redeployment over here themselves. We could cross this river. The way I do that is like this. I don't think we're going to be able to get too much further than this, but we could definitely do this. Okay, so we took this position. The question is, can we hold it? And we're just going to build these as a high priority. Just having a beachhead on the far side of this river will be useful for us. We've got reinforcements on the way in over here, and that looks decent. Okay, so we're able to hold that. They're definitely doing a big old redeployment over here, but that seems fine for right now. How are we doing on our tank count? Our tank count is 40k in stock. That looks good. Okay. Of course, a lot of our units out over here are pretty weak due to lack of logistics, and we do have a little bit of time yet before this is going to be finished. So if we hop in here and we take a look, it's going to be 31 March still. Okay. State infrastructure is not that great out over here. It is maxed right now, so that's noted. I definitely do want to get some anti-air over here, just in case they have overfly or anything going on over here. And then we'll build some low-priority defenses down that way. Okay, so that looks good for right now. And we'll just take this little bit of a tactical pause. We've just got 20 more days until our logistics over here comes online. And we're almost certainly going to need to build an additional logistics hub somewhere around here. Here might be the ideal location for that. Of course, we can't do that right now. We have to take that position first. And we can't do that right now. We need logistics first. So this is fine. We'll just dig in here, and we'll just await our logistics. So at this moment, it's definitely a bit of a pause. What are you supposed to belong to? Why do you have no orders assigned? Get up here. Okay, there we go. Now we've got this infantry reserve over here that doesn't have orders. That's fine. And we've also got this tank reserve over here that doesn't have orders. That's fine as well. So at this point, we have a full army in our tank reserve. I'm going to move that army in here. And we're going to give this a commander, and we're going to assign that right up over here. So that tank army is going to make its way up. Perfect. It should be here probably not in time for the push to start, but it'll be up here pretty quickly. So that looks good. It's the 25th of March right now. And as of right now, still 31 March. Okay. Just about done with this logistics. 28. 29. 30. And 31. Beautiful. So we just finished up this hub here. We're going to give that some trucks, and that will start distributing supplies out to our units out over here. Wonderful. So our supply situation will get better. It's not going to be perfect, but it will get better. They have a hub here. I'd love to take that. And the question is, are we going to wait for our other tank army, our new tank army here, to arrive? Where are they? Wait, are they here? I think they're here. Yeah, they are here. Okay, cool. Go ahead and launch them. So we're going to start pushing them back again here. That's excellent. With additional tanks here and better supplies in this region, hopefully we'll be in a better position here. But, of course, we really do need to capture this logistics hub up over here. We're going to be really close to it. We'll see if we have the supplies to get in there. I do want to start building some additional defenses up here. I'm going to high priority these, and then I'm going to low priority that. Okay. So that looks fine for right now. And we're going to need some forces down over here, of course. Okay. So the logistics hub here is in danger of being taken by us. That's absolutely wonderful, but we're pretty overstretched here. Let's see if we can grab it. Even if we do, we're going to have to build a railway to it. So that's absolutely noted. I'm going to have these guys assist the attack. We stopped the attack there. That's not ideal. But we'll just have to wait. Okay, we pushed in here successfully, but we're pretty strained logistically, even with this here. We really could use more logistics in this area. There's no doubt about that. To that end, I'm going to start building logistics up here, just in case. Yeah, I know there's one here, but just in case. I'm also going to start building one here, which that might get delayed by attacks. That's understood. So we're just going to bring this in like that. There we go. And we'll get those started. We'll see if we get anything out of it. But that'll do for now. Okay, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue with this push and hopefully get this push completed and push down, get all of this under control here, and then we'll start striking at their steel up over in this area. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.